Hello, hello, hello. All right. So, had a day off from me talking to you. If you even watch these videos, I hope you do. Okay. So, this is 8.3, last section of the year, section 8.3. This is an important one, though. That's why I want to make sure we get to it. Okay. Because you got to be able to do some of this stuff, and I hope you can retain some of it. I know summer's coming, but at least you will be familiar with it. You will have seen it, and maybe someday in your life you will go, "Hey, I remember doing that stuff." All right. So graphing y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. This is the last thing. We've done ax squared. We've done ax squared plus c. What does that bx in the middle do? All right, so ax squared is right on the vertex of 0, 0. It either opens up or down, narrow or wide, but always at 0, 0. Okay, that's ax squared. What did c do to it? Moved it up, moved it down. Okay, moved it up or down. But always along this x-axis, right, or y-axis, right? So what do you think the bx does? We're going to find out, all right? Any ideas? Moves it left or right. Okay, so this bx is going to determine left or right movement. Okay, so we have to do a couple different things. We've got to figure out what a vertex is. Vertex. The vertex is where it changes direction. It's either going to be the highest point or the lowest point. It's where the graph changes direction. All right. So here is the vertex. So if this is 2 units, it's 0, -2. Okay. That's the vertex for this one. Here, my vertex is 0, 0. Okay. Here, my vertex is 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 4. Okay, so my vertex is wherever this little curve stops and then moves back up. Okay, it comes down, stops, and goes back up. Comes down, or it comes up, stops, and goes back down. All right, so here's a vertex here. It can be another number like this, like -1, 4, -4. All right, that could be the vertex too. So the vertex is wherever that little knob is on the parabola. That's the vertex. You need to know that, and we need to know the axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry, what's that? All right. So on a graph, if I draw a parabola, this one's not on the y-axis. It's over here. Here's my vertex. My axis of symmetry is wherever this thing will mirror image. Okay. So my axis of symmetry goes through the vertex, so that whatever's on the left is identical to whatever's on the right, a mirror image of what's on the right. That's the axis of symmetry. Okay, it's going to be a line. It's going to be called x equals. So my vertex is a point, an x and a y value. This one might be, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it might be 3, -3. All right, that might be the vertex of this particular one. If that's the case, my axis of symmetry would be the x value of that guy, so it would be x equals 3. My axis of symmetry would be x equals 3. My vertex would be 3, -3. All right, so a quick lesson on axis of symmetry and vertex. Now we're going to figure out how we find them given this guy right here. All right, so moving on. That's all we're doing today, okay? That's all we're doing. We're going to find the axis of symmetry and the vertex. We're not actually going to graph today. Yay, right? We don't need to worry about that right now, okay? These things are true, but we're not going to worry about that right now. I will come back to that at a later date, all right? This you do need to know. The x-coordinate of the vertex is -b/2a. That is how I find the axis of symmetry. So if I have y equals 8x squared plus bx plus c, then if I find this b, put it right here, and this a, put it right here, I will get my axis of symmetry. When I plug this value back into the original function, I get the y value of the vertex. So we're finding two things here. We're going to find this. It's going to be a number. We're going to take that number. We're going to plug it back in for x. And we're going to get a value for y. Then we're going to get another number. and then we're going to have our vertex xy. All right, so follow along. I will show you how to do this. So here is 2x squared plus 8x minus 1. Go ahead and write this down. F of x equals 2x squared plus 8x minus 1. This will make a parabola. Okay, what I skipped over earlier is this is going to make it open up. Okay, it's positive, so it's going to open up. Not going to be an x-axis reflection. This 2 is going to do the same thing it did when we had ax squared. It's going to make it narrower or wider. Narrower, so it's going to be a vertical stretch, right? So this is going to be a little narrower than the regular x squared parabola, right? So you got to be able to look at these numbers and figure that out. What I think I missed on telling you was that's going to be the y-intercept as well. Always, always, always the y-intercept at -1. Okay, so I need x equals -b over 2a. This is my first thing to do. Find this, okay? So you need to label these. A, B, C we're not going to use. It's an important thing, but we're not going to use it in this situation. We're only going to find A and B. Here's B. It's going to go right there. Do not forget the negative. And if there's a negative here, you got to bring it down with it, all right? So you got to be careful with that. Here's A. A is going to go right there. So I'm going to rewrite this. X equals -8 over 2 times A, which is 2. Now I'm just going to do the math. -8 over 2 times 2 is 4. -8 over 4 is -2. That means my axis of symmetry is x equals -2. Okay? That's my axis of symmetry. Now I got to find the vertex. Vertex means I take that number. See, I told you we're going to get a number when we did this. We got a number. We're going to take that number, we're going to plug it back in wherever you see an x, and we're going to solve it, and that's going to give us our y value of the vertex. All right, so I'm going to go 2 times -2 squared plus 8 times -2 minus 1. This is going to be my y. But it says f of x. I told you before f of x and y are the same thing. All right. Operations, order of operations. Got to do the exponent first. Okay, so -2 squared is 4. So this is 2 times 4 plus 8 times -2 minus 1. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 times -2 is -16. If this was a minus, it would change that. All right, minus 1. 8 minus 16 is -8. -8 minus 1 is -9. If you need a calculator here, that is fine. These are still all y equals. Y equals. Y equals. I got x equals -2. Y equals -9. That would be my vertex. If I was graphing this, but you said we weren't going to graph it. I'm just showing you, okay? -2, -9. That's my vertex. I know it's going to open up. This says it's positive and narrow. And I told you this is the y-intercept. -1. And it's also going to mirror over here. So it would actually look something like that. Pretty. Not pretty. I don't want to grab well with this pen. Hi. Okay, so did I do it right? X equals -2. Did I get that? Did. And then I plugged it in and I solved for y. F of -2. See, f of -2 is going to give me my y value. And my y value is -9, so my vertex is -2, -9. So my axis symmetry is x equals -2. My vertex is depicted by that v, which is -2, -9. All right, let's try this one. There's no c value. What does that mean? What does that mean if there's no c value? It means there would be a 0. So what would my y-intercept be? Be 0. My y-intercept would be 0. It doesn't mean my vertex is 0, 0, but it means this thing's going to go through 0. All right, so here's my b value, and here's my a value. My a equals 3. My b equals, don't forget the -2. So here's my formula. X equals -b over 2a. I have students in Algebra 2 when I was going, hey, what's the axis of symmetry? X equals -b over 2a. I had at least 5 people that knew it. See which one of you can remember this. All right. X equals negative b over 2a. The thing is, we use this much more than we're going to be using this week. They had like 2 or 3 weeks of it. You're going to get like 2 or 3 days of it. X equals negative b over 2a. So I take this negative 2 and I stick it in here for b. Yes, there's already a negative, so I'm going to put both of them. And then I'm going to go 2 times 3, which is 6. So my top is going to be 2. My bottom is going to be 6. This reduces to 1/3. Axis of symmetry. X equals 1/3. Okay. Now I got a fraction. No big deal. Got to stick it in here. Okay. So I'm going to stick it in for x. I'm going to stick 1/3 in for x. So y equals 3 times 1/3 squared minus 2 times 1/3. Not a big deal. Just do the math. 1/3 squared is 1/9. So 3 times 1/9 minus 2 times 1/3 still. All right. 3 cancels one of the 9, or cancels the 9 into 3. So I get 1/3 minus 2/3, which is negative 1/3. So my vertex is 1/3, negative 1/3. So if I was going to graph this, my vertex would be here, 1/3, negative 1/3, okay? And it would go through 0. Make believe that goes through 0. And it'd be really skinny because this is going to make it narrow. Okay, would you like to try one? Go ahead and give it a shot if you'd like. Okay, I'll give you the formula. X equals negative b over 2a. Go ahead and pause this and give it a shot. Tell you this is all we're doing. All right. What's a here? Oh my, you threw me off, Mr. Cole. What's a? What is a here? It is 1. All right, so I get negative b, which is 6. Negative 6 over 2 times 1. Well, negative 6 over 2 is negative 3. So x equals negative 3 is my axis of symmetry. Now I got to take this negative 3 and plug it in for x. All right. So g of negative 3, that's really the correct mathematical way to say it. All right, that's going to be my y value, is going to be negative 3 squared. Don't forget to put that in parentheses. All right. Plus 6 times negative 3 plus 5. All right. Negative 3 squared is positive 9 because it's negative 3 times negative 3. All right. Negative 3 times 6 is negative 18. And I'm going to add 5. 9 and negative 18 is negative 9. Plus 5 is negative 4. Here's my x value. Here's my y value. And that's my vertex. So if I was going to graph this, negative 3, negative 4, my y-intercept is 5, so it's going to open 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up here, okay? I'm going to go like that, something like that. Not a V, a U, all right? This is my axis of symmetry. That becomes more important later. Last one, if you want to try it. I'll give you this. All right, pause and try it if you'd like. All right, if you notice what I did there, you can use 3, 12, and 3. However, these are all divisible by 3, so I can factor out a 3. I wouldn't do that, so never mind. Okay, so we're going to stick with 3 and negative 12. So negative 12 is b. That's going to go on top with a negative in front of it. Negative 12. All right, and then on the bottom, I'm going to get 2 times 3. Well, negative 12 is positive 12, and 2 times 3 is 6, so I get 2. So my axis of symmetry is x equals 2. Now I want to take 2 and I want to plug it in for x in both of those spots. So I'm going to get 3 times 2 squared minus 12 times 2 minus 3. I'm just plugging x in equals 2. All right. This is my y value. Now I got to do PEMDAS. 3 times 2 squared is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 times 2 is 24 minus 3. So this is negative 12 minus 3, which is negative 15. So my vertex is my x value, 2, and my y value, negative 15. And that's all she wrote. You're going to have very few problems tonight, okay? Today, whatever it is. So it's not going to be difficult at all as far as the amount of problems. Make sure you have grasped what's going on here. X equals negative b over 2a, and then take that number and plug it back in to get the other value. That's all you're doing. That is all you're doing. I'm here if you need me, so give me a holler.